basketball when they've added Buddy Hield and replaced Clay. Buddy Hield is actually playing defense for like one of the first times in his career. He has
Buddy Hield.
Dude, he has the motivation to play defense now, and he's always shot the ball so damn well. So I think that it's going to be, I think that addition's a lot bigger than what people give anything credit for.
Yeah.
My pick tonight is Warriors. I think they're hand Cleveland the first losses.
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield.
We're gonna keep talking about him until next season, and we got to figure out who's gonna. It's like the Madden cover. Who is gonna be on the opener for Brokers and Ball? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out.
Know. We're gonna see. It may be Buddy Hield. It may be someone else. We don't know.
I feel like it has to be somebody that played in the finals. Like it's got to be somebody. We got to talk somebody, but not like SGA. We got to go different. We got to go kind of underground a little bit. We can't have SGA or Halliburton on there. Like we got, could be Obi Toppin. That dude's had some games here in the postseason.
He has. It could be him. It could be Jay Will.
I tell you who it's not going to be. Chet Holmgren. That guy's killing me right now.
Man, he had a game last night, man. He had a game. He was minus 11, 4 points.
See now you're just rubbing it in.
He showed up. He showed up last night, man.
That guy, I'll tell you what, there are games where that guy looks like he is a freshman in high school who got bumped up to the varsity a little too early. That's what he looks like. He looked
so bad last night. I mean, I was watching. Man. So out of place. Yeah, so out of place. It was a tough game. It was tough to watch some of those OKC, like some of their sets that they ran. It's just some of the overall play, and they just didn't have a good defensive series. I saw a stat tray, and I think you'll appreciate this. By the data, that was OKC's worst game all year.
Yeah, all year. I can believe it. Game 6 of the finals to close it out, to win on the road, to make a statement,
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty shocked by that, but also like the eye test, it said that they played terribly. Like you did not. I mean, the first quarter was kind of a scratch, but yeah, I mean, the rest of the game was it was abysmal for OKC.
They did not play good at all. Their defense was horrible. They just didn't get a lot out of the defensive effort, and on offense, it just felt like. The OKC has this habit of getting into this kind of like really stagnant one-on-one basketball very quickly.
Yes.
Very quickly. And like I was sitting here with my nephew watching the game last night, and he was commenting like the ball's just flying when Indy gets it. It's just moving, it's just flying. They had that one fast break where the ball didn't hit the ground. It was beautiful as a coach. Like that's beautiful. It's your teach. It was beautiful. And so, like you just saw this real stagnant offense for OKC. They just couldn't get any sets. I mean, you say the sets they ran. I don't feel like they ran a set. I feel like they just came down, went 5 out, and let whoever had the ball try to go one-on-one for the most part. And you just can't you just can't do that in the NBA. Like the defenders are too good. They're too long. Like it's too. You have to try to work an advantage somehow, whether it's screens or motion or whatever. And they just didn't do it. And the other thing I saw too, and I didn't. I looked at the team stats. I thought this felt worse than it was. The rebounding margin was 46-41 Indianapolis, but the offensive boards, Indy had 11 offensive rebounds. You just can't give that many second chance points, and a lot of those turned into, open threes or open dunks, just from the chaos of an offensive rebound. So,
well, a big stat, I think, two big stats that you mentioned is offensive rebounds, but two big ones that stood out for me, Trey, was OKC had 4 steals to Indiana's 16 steals, and they had 21 turnovers to the Pacers' 11. I saw the Pacers had 2 turnovers going into halftime. That is incredible ball management, especially in the finals, and they were just a lot more prepared. I think that just goes to show the coaching with between Mark Daigneault and Rick Carlisle is just a step above.
Yeah, no, I saw that too. I mean, 16 turnovers or 16 steals. That's an insane amount of steals.
Insane.
That's a crazy amount of steals. They were very active on the defensive end. You could the commentators made a really good point. They said OKC is playing like they know they have a game 7, and the Pacers are playing like they know they don't. There's an urgency for Indy. And the thing I liked about Indy that I've been wanting OKC to do all series is that when Indy got OKC down, they kept their foot on the gas.
Yeah, 100%.
They took the lead to 30 31, whatever it was at some point. Like they did not slow down. And OKC has not shown that ability that when they're up by 15 to extend the lead. And Indy did that, man. They played with so much urgency last night. I mean, you look at Indy, it's not like they played exceptionally well. I mean, think about this. They only shot 41% from the field. That's not
Right.
great.
It's
They
not
shot
good.
35 from three. That's okay, right? You're looking for somewhere between 30 and 45. Somewhere in there is good. So they were in the range on threes, but they shot 41% from the field. That's not that great. They
No.
didn't play like a great game, but they dominated the whole game. I mean, OKC had 60 points after 3 quarters. That is abysmal.
It
That
is.
abysmal. You know?
Yeah, and touching on those stats, I mean, even the Pacers, their free throw percentage, 68% from free throw. You can't do that in the finals game. And I mean, and to win, to say, hey, the Pacers shot 68%,
To win
lost,
going away.
and exactly, insane.
I mean, you had, we talked about this in our private chat that we have, our group chat. That, man, when the 12th man is getting quality minutes in the fourth quarter, that's not good.
Right.
That's not a good sign. I mean, that guy's like, "What? I'm in? I'm playing?"
Right.
I mean, that was actually pretty hilarious. I think that when I saw who was it? When James Johnson came in, that's when I knew,
Yes.
man.
I knew it was over.
Totally.
Toast.
Oh man,
And
it's really.
I
it's
think
really
the best part about him coming in was the fact that he also got ejected in his 3
Yes.
minutes of play.
Yeah. 2 minutes, -3, 0 for 1 field goals, ejected. He's like, "I'm out of here. I didn't come to this game to play. I came to watch. I'm not here to play." Oh man, it's just so funny. Now let's talk about the guy who, in my opinion, has really kind of changed this series for the Pacers. I think it's TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell, yeah, absolutely.
TJ McConnell has changed this. I keep thinking to myself, how is this little guy who
short king.
He's not terribly fast. He cannot shoot the ball quick, at least not from three. He can, off the dribble pretty quick, but from three, how is this guy changing the game? And it has to do with the fact that he's such a playmaker that when he has the ball in his hands, nobody can help, because if they do, he's going to find the open man.
Well, and he just
and
I think the other thing is he just creates so much offense with his defense. He's just a dog on that end of the floor. He gets in all the passing lanes. He gets his guys motivated. He's just kind of that guy that comes off the bench. He can give you exactly what you need, whether that's offense, defense, or just that playmaking ability. He's so good. I saw this other stat. TJ McConnell holds a record for the most points, assists, rebounds, and steals by a bench player in finals history. 68 points, 19 rebounds, 28 assists, 14 steals.
Yeah, it's crazy. And 4 of those steals last night. So, 25% of the steals that the Pacers had. I mean, the guy almost has not almost. I mean, he was close to a triple-double off the bench. And I mean, it's like he's really changing. He's changing the dynamic of the game in a way that OKC has not been able to figure out. It's like, who do you put on him? Do you put Dort on him? Dort really is good at taking big players and take them out of play. He's not, SGA is not going to guard him. It's like, who do you put on? I mean, I feel like they need to go to Cason Wallace. Like when TJ comes in, I would put Cason Wallace on him. I mean, Cason Wallace is a good defensive player, similar size, could probably handle, some of it off the dribble. And it seemed like, it's weird. Cason Wallace, played a lot in the previous series.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a lot in this series.
He hasn't.
No,
he's kind of been for.
I don't necessarily understand that. He played. What did he play? 14 minutes last night.
Yeah, 14.
A lot of more garbage minutes in a fourth quarter. So I don't know why he's not the one trying to guard. When McConnell comes in, I would just swap in Wallace and just see. That's got to be better. I would think it's got to be. I don't know.
I'm confused, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's just I don't understand, or maybe even Mark Dagnall doesn't understand his team as well as maybe he should. Like his lineups are kind of pretty erratic. Like he'll I forgot who it was who came off the bench. He started someone else in the second half. In this game, he did it in I think in game 3 or game 4. Like he's just kind of changing his lineups and going. I mean, this is the finals. Like you should really have these things locked in at
Yeah.
this point, and you should just be playing your brand of basketball. And it feels very like first
Reactive.
time very reactive, like first time in the finals head coach, like playing
Yeah.
to Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle into what the Pacers are doing. And I'm just very curious as to kind of see how that starting lineup in game 7 evolves to that second half starting lineup, because I'm just very curious. I think if
Yeah.
if the game gets a little bit tougher for OKC, or it's a tighter game, I could almost see him making a switch at halftime and just making a panic move.
Yeah. It's almost like he's overthinking.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
he's overthinking things,
Yeah.
which is a kind of a first time coach mistake. Like, he doesn't want to make a mistake, but by overthinking, I feel like he probably is making some mistakes. So,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but it will be interesting to see what happens in OKC. It's going to be rocking. I mean, OKC game 7, that's rare. Those fans are going to
Yeah.
be, on fire. And game 7, anything can happen. This is the crazy part about it. Like, man, get to a game 7, one player gets injured, a player gets hot, a player gets cold. Like, just, it's one game, man. It's crazy. It's almost like back to the NFL where it's one game. That's it. You're out.
Yep.
You better play a good game. We rarely get this in sports where it literally comes down to the last game of the season. In fact, I think this is the first game 7 since 2016.
It
I
is.
think
Yep.
only the fourth in the last 25 years or something like that. So
I think you're spot on with that. Do you know? So do you know how many teams? So this is going to be a fun one. How many teams have gone on the road on a game 7 in the finals and won?
Well, I know Cleveland did it.
That's
That's
one.
one.
Yep.
Was Dallas on the road against Miami?
No,
Was that a game 7? Or I'm sorry, what
wasn't game 7.
series was that? Okay, all right, so that one wasn't. No, Miami and who did Miami play in that one? San Antonio. Did San Antonio?
I'll say it wasn't in the 21st century.
It wasn't. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I know the Bulls were never in a game 7.
It's gonna be a tough one.
It had to be like a Celtics Lakers.
So I'll tell
series.
you, there's 4 total. So you've got one of them.
Okay, so I got Cleveland.
You got Cleveland.
I'm not gonna get any of the rest. Oh,
I'll
man,
give you.
That's rough.
I'll give you. So we got the 78 Bullets, the 74 Celtics, and the 69 Celtics.
Okay, we're not even since I was born.
Right. Neither of us were born, and these are the.
So in the last
ones.
50 years,
yep,
one team has won on the road in game 7.
Yes.
Yeah. Cleveland. How many game 7s have there been in the last 50 years total?
That's not a stat that I pulled, but
so that would be 1 out of maybe 7 or 8, maybe 10 at the most. In that regard, that could be it.
There have been 19 game 7s played in NBA Finals history.
How many?
19
in history. Okay.
And
How
4
many years can you see in the last 50 years?
Let me see. One, two, three, four.
Historically,
5,
4 of 19. In the last 50 years, 1 of how many?
So let's say we've got the 2016
real-time statistics here, folks.
2016 Cavs and Warriors, 2013 Spurs and Heat, 2010 Celtics Lakers, 05 Pistons Spurs, 94 Rockets Knicks, 88 Lakers Pistons, 84 Celtics Lakers, the 78 Bullets and Supersonics, and then the last one is Celtics Bucks in 74.
74. So we'll count that one even though it's 51 years, whatever. We'll
51.
count that one. All right, so 9 in the last 51 years, and I guess 3 out of those 9, the road team won. Is that right? Pretty much.
Yep.
3 out of 9. So 33% chance for Indy winning this game. That's better than I thought it would be, actually. That's better than I thought it would be. They play 3 times, they win 1. That's decent. So they got a good shot. I'll say this. I feel like Indy has displayed throughout that they have the better overall team chemistry and deeper team overall. If Oklahoma City plays defense and does not play one-on-one basketball, I think they have the upper hand. They'll win. But if they don't do one of those two things, I think Indy is just primed to take this thing. Man, that
Yeah.
crushes me. I took OKC in 5. At least we have a shot. At least we're still in this thing.
You're still in it. You're still in it, Trey. But yeah, I full agree with you. I think it comes down to offense or defense. I mean, I think it comes down to both for OKC. They played such a terrible game last night on both offense and defense.
Brutal.
But if they just play normal OKC style basketball, which is going to be pretty tough with the emotion and just everything going on with the Game 7 in Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really tough. I think it's going to come down to whatever city has the most tornado warnings. I think that's going to be the city that wins. How can we predict it? I think that's the only way.
How do we figure it out?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, you know what also really kind of stunned me yesterday was, Oklahoma City got out to a 10-2 start.
Yeah. Started out real hot.
I mean, they started really hot, and then you think about the rest of the first 3 quarters. From that point on, they got outscored 88-50.
That's
in those
really
3
crazy.
quarters.
That's really crazy.
2.5 quarters, essentially. 2.5 quarters got outscored 88-50. I mean, that was just such a dominant run that the Pacers went on. That was brutal. That was pretty brutal.
Was there any point in the second half when you said, okay, this could end up maybe turning around? There was one point for me where I got like a little like, as a Bulls fan and watching leads evaporate, I got a little nervous for like maybe like 3 minutes of gameplay. But
right.
But what about you?
I'm looking at the game flow, and just in that alone, I think the closest they got in the second half was like when it mattered. It was like 18 points.
Yeah,
that's the closest that they got in the second half. So I can't remember a time where I thought, "Oh, here they come." If they had got, I was telling my nephew, I said, if they could get it down to 12 by the start of the fourth quarter, now we got a game. Because that's 12, 15 points in a quarter. We've seen that. Teams get hot, hit a couple threes, play some defense, team starts tightening up on the other end. That's possible. They never got to that point where I felt like, yeah, this is within reach. I mean, to me, in the finals, if you're more than 15 points out,
it's tough.
You don't really have any momentum. You get it to 12 or 10 by the fourth quarter. Okay, now we got a shot. But one thing I've learned in sports, as somebody who played competitively for a long time, it takes a lot out of you to catch up. It takes a lot out of you to catch up. Like, it's emotionally exhausting because you have the emotion of being down, of fighting a little bit harder, maybe trying a little bit harder, maybe start getting some things going. But you're like, it is so draining to catch up that sometimes just getting close, it just takes everything out of you. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why these comebacks have been so incredible. They just keep fighting. They don't get tired. It seems like when they're making those comebacks. So I think if you'd switched the roles and Indy was down 18, I might have felt like, oh, here they come, because they've done that.
Right.
I don't feel like with OKC at that point. OKC needed to get it to 10 or 12 before I would have felt like they had that shot. I never felt
there was only one time when I had maybe that glimmer where I was like, oh crap, like they were down like 26 and they made an 8-0. No, hold on. This will come into play. They were down 26 and they went on an 8-0 run to get them down to 18. And then Tony Bradley, Chicago Bulls famous player Tony Bradley, decided to, after he was very clearly fouled, shove Isaiah Hartenstein and got a technical. I think they were actually down like 27 and then went down 19 and then they got a technical free throw, put them down 18. Long story short, I got a little nervous there. I said, okay, like they've just had an 8-0 run. We've just got this technical free throw. OKC's got the ball. We've got 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Like 18 points is not insurmountable at this point. I was like, if the Pacers don't pick it back up, like this could turn into like a closer game than it should be. And it very clearly wasn't. I mean, they put their foot back on the pedal, but there was like that probably, I don't know, 3 minutes where I was just very nervous as a Bulls fan. Number one, I was feeling the crack.
Well, the good news is that Indy hasn't really given you any reason to believe that they'll crack when they're up. But they've given you all the hope in the world to believe that they can win if they're down, and that's a dangerous team. Man. Like, This is an interesting game. So who's gonna, is Oklahoma City gonna take their first title and in the OKC era, or maybe forever? Did Seattle ever win a title? I think this might be the first one ever.
Seattle, I believe,
Did they win?
has. Yeah,
Oh, we'll look that up. We need to see that stat.
I'm gonna do it right
But
now.
is OKC going to win and SGA kind of take that rightful throne, MVP, that type of thing, or is Indy going to just like completely, finish off the deal of turning the tables on team ball in the NBA? That's
So
I
the
don't know.
Supersonics won their first one in '79, and the
Oh, wow.
Pacers are
Okay.
trying to win their first NBA
And Pacers,
championship
yeah.
because they've got an ABA.
Nice. Okay. It's been a fun series, man. I'll tell you, this has been even though some people don't like it because there's no West Coast teams or East Coast teams, whatever in the finals. It's been a fun series, man. This
It's
is
been so
delivered.
great.
I don't know what the ratings have been like, but man, from a pure basketball fan perspective, these games have been great, and there's been a little bit of everything. I mean, we got our first real big blowout last night. Most games have been within about 10 points for the most part, so it's been a lot of fun. That's for sure.
No, it's been a great series. I know I saw a lot of people on Twitter when the series first started. It was like, hey, this is gonna be a sweep, this is gonna be a terrible series. No one OKC is gonna crush the Pacers. And no, this has been a fantastic series, way better than even my expectations. I knew it was gonna go to at least 6 games, but yeah, this has been such a fun series. I'm excited to see who wins. I mean, as much as I want the Pacers to win, it's gonna be really fun having a new NBA Finals champion. And either one of these teams, I mean, I was cheering for OKC all season, and of course, it has to come down to the Pacers, my 1B team, being in the finals, which I couldn't have foreseen when we were maybe 20 games into the season and they were like in 10th place.
Well, if you go back, I'll give you this, and maybe all of us this. If you go back probably 2 months, and we were looking at the standings back in like April, and we were talking about who's our sleeper team in the East. Most of us, I think, went with Indy. Is definitely one of those teams that at the 4 seed could definitely get in. They could make that make a run, and they've proved us right about that. They had what it took, because they were a scary team even back then. Even though they were kind of middle of the playoff pack, they still were a scary team to go up against because of how they played.
Hey, listen, Broker and Ball guys, we are on track. We are better than the rest of these ESPN guys that don't know that the Pacers were a scary team going into the finals.
That's right. Well, going into the playoffs in general, but yeah,
the playoffs in general,
that's for sure. All right, so here's how we have it. So just to explain to everybody how we did a playoff pick bracket, and I'm going to actually share my screen so people can see a little bit about what we got going on here. But in the playoff, the pick bracket that we had here, we basically gave 1 point. So here's how it started out. We gave 1 point for in the playing game, 1 point for the winner, and so that was pretty simple. And I was the only one that got a point during that one. That was our worst round that everybody had. I got 1 point, nobody else got a point. In round 1, we did 2 points for the winner, 1 point for the number of games, and you can see how that all kind of turned out. After one round, you and I were tied at 18 apiece in that regard. In the second round, we did 4 points for the winner and 2 points for the games. And so you can see kind of how we did in the second round. You edged me out in the second round. We're up 2 going into the finals. In the finals, it was 4 points. I think it was what was it? It was 8 points and 4 points. So 8 points for the winners, 4 points for the games. So again, you won that one again. So you're currently sitting 5 ahead of me now. But as you can see here in the finals, we did 16 points and 8 points, so 24 points for the winner person. If OKC wins, as you can see, I'm moving ahead of you, and Kale moves ahead of you.
He does.
Believe it or not, you go from first to third, but if the Pacers win, obviously you absolutely dominate because the rest of us picked OKC. So none of us got the games in this one, so no points for the games. We all thought 5 or 6. So we'll see how it turns out. But that's how we've been keeping score in case anybody's wondering where we're at. So the leaderboard right now, Tommy's up 46 to my 41. And whoever wins tonight takes it all, man. It's exciting. We'll see.
It's so exciting.
See what happens. See how it works
out. One more
But,
game on Sunday, and yeah, it's going to be super exciting.
Yep. So we'll see how it goes. The other thing I realized is I don't think we have a really good backdrop for this. We need a new backdrop for this. Some sort of background behind the scenes. I don't think we have one, so we're gonna have to work on the background. Yeah, we got. We can go this right here. A little yellow. Maybe that's the one.
There we go.
I think that looks pretty good. We'll just go with that one for the rest of the show here. All right. So, Tommy, listen, we got to get out of here about 2 minutes. I know you got something going on. So let's just talk about game 7. Let's go through some predictions. Clearly, you think Indy's going to win, but let's talk about how you think the game's going to go, what you think the score is going to be, and who's going to walk away with the trophy.
I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think we're going to be under 100 points for both teams. I think it's going to be an offensive struggle for both teams. I think it's going to be a role player showdown, kind of like how we started the show. We're kind of looking for that next guy, that next Buddy Hield to kind of talk about and lead with. I think it's going to be another role player style showdown. I think, the Neesmiths and the Nemhards and the Toppins of the world, they're going to come to light. And same thing with, the Williams and the Dorts and the Carusos and the Wiggins. I think that these guys are going to come alive. And I think that we're going to have a really fun game 7 showdown. I think it's also going to come down to a lot of coaching. I think we'll see. I think that's kind of my prediction. We'll see. Pacers in obviously in 7, tough showdown. It's going to come down to maybe the last shot.
I know you didn't mention Holmgren in that list of role players. Well, Chet has not proven his worth so far in these finals. That's for sure.
No, he's had like one good game.
Final score then, under 100 points. What's your final score?
93, 92. Pacers.
Ooh. You going last second shot?
Tyrese Halliburton last second shot.
All right. Okay. So here's my prediction real quick in 15 seconds. I think this one's going to OT. First OT game of the finals.
Let's go.
I think Halliburton's going to hit a shot to send it to OT because that's his MO. And then OKC's going to win in OT. They're going to finally get that monkey off of their back of giving up leads. They're learning their lesson. They're coming back. I think it's going to be 113-108 OKC in overtime after Halliburton ties it up to throw it into overtime. That's where I'm going to go with that.
I'm excited. This is going to be a fun game no matter what pick this happen or whichever scenario happened, 2K scenario we've just come up with.
And I got these written down. So we'll have to get Josh and Kale's prediction just to see what they have before the game. So Josh and Kale, if you watch this, I know they're out today. Josh was actually at the game. We didn't talk about this. Josh was actually at the game.
Josh was at the game
last night.
We got 60 seconds. We can do that. We can talk about Josh.
I didn't even mention that. Yeah, he was there.
What an incredible game to be at. Yes, sir.
It was a win-win. Right. It was a win-win because either he goes to a game 7, which we all wanted, or he got to watch OKC get crowned, which he picked them. So it was like for him as a win-win.
Win-win.
Got some great tickets, got to go and watch that. And so kudos to him. We got some representation at the finals. Brokers and Ball has made it to the finals.
We made it to the finals.
John Lyles making it there, which is great. So I don't think anybody's going to OKC, although that would be a phenomenal environment to be in. That place is going to be rocking. I mean, that these two fan bases, I think, is what made it really, really fun. These are college fan bases, essentially.
They are. Listen, I don't think you can even get tickets. Okay, let's see how much they are on StubHub real quick. Cheapest ticket right now, $9.97 plus without fees.
And that's got to be
section 319.
So you can just watch it on the screen at the event. You can't even watch the game. You just gotta watch it on the screen. For $1,000, folks, you can be there.
I'm sure I'm sure a lot of people would pay for standing room just to be in the arena.
So this is my quick thought on this, is that if you have a team, like if your team is the Thunder and you spend $1,500 to go to that game and they don't win, man, that is such a letdown.
Heartbreak.
That's horrible. But if you spend $1,500 and they win, it's a lifetime experience. You'll never forget it. Like the risk reward for attendance at these types of games, Super Bowls, NBA Finals, whatever, World Series, Game 7, the risk reward is so high. Like emotionally, it's got to be crazy to spend that kind of money. And then if your team loses, it's just like, like you just walk out just like totally deflated.
I couldn't imagine. I was talking about, like, I was like, if I could just drop $1,000 on this ticket right now, I would drive up to OKC in a heartbeat. Because honestly, if either team wins, I'm gonna be super stoked. It's gonna be such a fun finals.
Yeah.
Neither's my main team, so go NBA.
Yeah, it's going to be great series. Sunday night, 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Such a late start for a game 7 on a Sunday. Why can't they go earlier for those East Coast people? I can't believe that. It's nuts. So, all right, folks, this is our penultimate show for the 2024-2025 season. We got one more show next week, maybe two, maybe an emergency
Maybe
pod
two.
this
Probably
weekend, maybe
emergency pod.
something on Saturday. You know, it might have to be one or Sunday, pregame or whatever, Sunday night. I don't know.
Pregame.
We'll figure it out. So I got a wedding on Sunday, so I think that's going to be tough for me. Maybe Saturday might work out, but we'll figure it all out. But
Awesome.
until next time, everybody, for Tommy, this is Trey. We'll see you guys. Peace out, everybody. Take care.